Welcome back, everybody. Josh rving Nerd Bish's RV down here at Keystone today, getting you some update footage on last year's silent breakout star, the 29RLP. Yeah, you know me. This is a floor plan that a lot of builders have made, but like weirdly, it just wasn't in Cougar's lineup. They made the big bed slide version of this, the 33RLI, which if you watch this, you're like, man, I wish I had washer dryer prep. I wish I had a bed slide. They make that. That's a different floor plan. This one right here, though, is the I call it kind of like a park hopper, where you might spend an extended couple weeks here, do a little moving, spend a couple weeks there, because it gives you maximum campsite window coverage, tons of airflow and breeze with those things. Opposing super slides that are both floor flush, by the way, giving you all the living space, like a big luxury fifth wheel living room, essentially. The barreled ceiling also helps open things up. She is second air capable. These are all 50 amp service, so whether it's from the factory or at a dealership, you can slap a second air on one of these. It does also have optional auto leveling, which a lot of travel trailers do not offer. And more, again, like a fifth wheel, they have a big front drop frame compartment with an enclosed fifth wheel style docking station. This is basically, they took all the fifth wheel features they could and smashed them onto a travel trailer, which means this is not the least expensive nor most basic travel trailer, but it is arguably one of the more smexy, fancy, snazzy ones out there today. The front bedroom has that very not patented, classic, I guess you'd call it, 70 by 80 Cougar RV king bed with big bonus closet in there. The barreled ceiling allows a guy like me to stand in the shower. These are 0 to 110 degree rated, a little bit better solar package. They've upgraded to a high gloss luxury fifth wheel style fiberglass skin. They have maintained their dual Asdel walls and hyperdeck flooring system on these. So more aluminum, more composites, more features, more shine, more glitz, more glitter, a little more weight, a little more money. You're probably going to want a 3/4 ton pickup to tow this one around. And I don't remember what the road mode's like, but we're going to find out if you hang with me here today. So if you appreciate what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. And in the meantime, let's get in there. Now, I got a feeling people are either going to love or hate the change of decor. I mean, Cougars look the same on the inside for almost 5 years now. So any change kind of jarred me a little bit. For the most part, all they really changed is what used to be kind of farmhouse white is now just this sort of sandy kind of color. Now, that the thing is that very quickly shifts it over from the farmhouse feel over into the HOA brown tones family, but it still feels like open and airy, but like yet warm and welcoming to me. I think they did a good job kind of putting themselves in the middle. Now it's neutral on neutral. And I get that a lot of people are like, oh, but this is the kind of decor. You get yourself a couple pillows or blankets of some sort of color package, and it really sparks some life into the space here. One of the first things I want to do is I'm going to slide over here to the theater seat. To give you a reference, I'm sitting in the right-hand theater seat, so you can actually get even more direct viewing than this. But I wanted to kind of demonstrate. Sometimes people ask, is the island in the way? No, it's not. That is also a smart TV, 40-inch, give or take. I'm eyeballing it here. There was a time in the industry that was like, wow, that's a big TV. You must be doing very well in life. Funny how things change. Electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster down there, and they have applied their whole fifth wheel pantry-tainment center right here that we will get open for you in a little bit. Cool little like kind of stick vac prep space in there, or just general broom and or Swiffer. Now, your trifold sleeper sofa on the back here, I demonstrated quickly in our floor plan in a flash, but this RV has, they call it a flex dinette. But basically, it's what I call a Franken table, where it's two chairs with a table, like a table and chairs arrangement, but with a floating bench. I always like to move the bench over here like a little rear sofa footrest ottoman. And you might notice those side stands for that sofa, a little kind of magazine storage pocket in there with some household and USB outlets. The household and USB plugs are down lower than I would like them, though, but that's how she be. I do want to mention that all these windows open for airflow, and if what you're looking for is the most amazing views of your campsite and not the neighbors, this is a floor plan that works for you. Obviously, we have a population control armrest there. It's funny, some Cougars have it, some Cougars don't. If you watch very closely, the Cougars with the extra wide middle console have the flip up armrest. The ones that have the thinner one like this have the hard fixed armrest. And that is where they hide things like their USB plugs and their heat massage buttons. It is still a manual ripcord style recliner, but it basically what changes on the Cougar theater seats is that central section right there. Now, this is something that I really like. And before RV Factory started offering these pivoting dining tables, again, because this is actually old technology. This is old meets new, although I really like, if you notice, it is absolutely a no knee knocker kind of arrangement. But a lot of RVs used to do this. But when RVs quit doing this, people would start unscrewing their freestanding table from the floor, turning it, and then screwing it back down 90 degrees like you see here for a little campsite overlook pseudo dining bar. So it's kind of cool that they sort of give you the choice as to what you would like to do now. Now you kind of notice the general ideology is that the kitchen is a little bit lighter color, whereas the living room and entertainment is a little bit darker, but they do kind of interchange a little bit. I will tell you, I'm looking at this on the camera and I'm looking at this in person and they don't look the same. It does not look as good on camera. It looks kind of baby poopish on camera. It does not look like that in person. I highly recommend checking one of these out with the naked eye because I think it will make a very big difference in how you interpret and or view this floor plan. I really like the symmetry on either side of the stove and microwave. That is something that a lot of travel trailers don't give you, that a lot of higher end fifth wheels will give you. But that's kind of the thing. If you really look at this, Cougar's trying to give you a trailer packed with higher end fifth wheel features. And I meant to kind of start the storage here, but I realized there's some extra little spaces that I don't want to miss. And I appreciate how they took the time and effort to put a better hinge on this. It's this crazy thing. It uses these space age like maglev kind of I made that up. That's not true. It's just springs. I bet it's some kind of just plain spring. But it defies gravity either way. And of course, that little padded top ottoman right there, a little bit of storage as well. Now this area, there's things I like about this. For the most part, I really like this. It is like on the right-hand side, it's either a little coat closet, dog leashes. You could put a stick vac in there, just some brooms. I feel like the top of this has this little motion light, but the rest of it doesn't. Why? I need to see more than just the top of it. So I don't know, I sort of wish there was like a motion light down the side there or something. But I mean, I'm looking for nitpick trouble with mapping glasses. There's not a lot that I'm really unhappy about in here. Again, the symmetrical nature of that kitchen kind of holds true even within the cabinet spaces here. I have noticed the drawer grew under the oven, which means the oven shrank. They have adopted what I refer to as the easy bake oven as compared to that larger, like 20 plus inch oven that some brands will use. Cougar was using that pretty consistently, and I don't know if it's just pricing pressure or what, but I see that they have moved away from it. This floor plan is kind of like a juiced up version of a Bullet 287 RLS, I think it is, and I have a feeling they're going to have this same glitch right here. I think when these slides close, you are going to be blocked off from getting to that converter fuse panel right there. I don't have confirmation of that. I will close the slides in a few minutes for road mode to eyeball that for you. I don't demonstrate this a lot on camera anymore because it's become pretty much a everybody does it feature, but it is a sprayer faucet, just in case you were curious. The RV does have sink covers as well. I think I left them under the bed or something like that, just as a size reference object there. We'll get there in a few minutes. Big old space below the sink here, wide open, waiting for waste baskets, drawers to the floor. Now, kind of occurs to me, now that I'm looking, there's the big drawer below the oven, but these are, I guess you'll call these probably your main drawers in the kitchen. So you'll probably want to get some kind of little utensil organizer there for that drawer. But the reason that doesn't bother me is those portable utensil organizers are actually really nice because sometimes you want to grab your utensils and you want to bring them over here and set them at the table, or you want to take them outside and set them on the picnic table. Now, if you notice over here, again, we've got campside maximize windows. You may have also noticed we have dual floor flush super slides. These do have blackout roller shades, by the way, but we are now in configuration number 3 for this dining area. When the video began, it was more like a traditional booth. Then when we started inside, we looked at it in a desk, and now it's just more like a couple's table and chairs arrangement. But there's, I mean, it just, you can use it however you want. Now, the cushion that's on the wall over here to kind of give the dinette back something soft, you can take that off of there. And you see these switches right here. These are the new dimmer light switches, all 5, 6, 7, however many aspects are lit up, telling us we're on max light right now. The middle is your on off, then you've got your dimmer up down buttons. So you've got one of those here for the slide lighting. You've got one for the main cabin by your main switch panel, then another up in the bedroom there. Oh, real quick, before I forget, these are by default prepped and ready for a 2000 watt inverter. If you go with the Cougar 660 solar package, that will actually factory include a 3000 watt inverter. The 440 package will include a 2000 watt inverter. But yeah, the base default is inverter prepped. So kind of keep that in mind. Another thing that's easy to miss right here is when we get in the bathroom, it kind of just looks like a mirror glued to the wall, but it's actually a recessed inset, sort of built-in medicine cabinet on here. And these are soft close cabinet doors as well. And that's kind of all the way through the camper. Is this, it looks stainless. No, that's plastic. Wow, that is a good-looking plastic sink. I was not sure until I did the old finger tap test on it. Down below, this is always a tricky area to kind of showcase, but down below the sink, little wastebasket space, and you've got 3 of these, again, finished off plywood drawers. I want to mention finished because it's not going to be a splinter factory on your fingers, which is nice. Now, the toilet, porcelain, foot flush, fairly fluffy, friendly. You might notice how there is a towel bar giving us a little bit better drying action, and I can easily stand up in that shower, even though the RV's only got a 6.5 foot sidewall, which normally means that my head's in the skylight, but they outfit these with that barreled ceiling. And if you get on Amazon and you search #1 RV shower head replacement, you're going to find this, the Oxygenics. So they just do it from the factory so that you don't have to. Now, there's still some things you might want to upgrade. Like this bathroom does have the conventional 4-inch fart fan. It does not use the Fajita Freddy fume fighting mega fan variety. If you are interested in upgrading that though, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, the Hengs fans, HENGX, the Vortex series is what I would like. What's funny is that little fan often is a basic Hengs fan. They just don't use the bigger variety. You see that we can get a factory installed second air. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and weave around the corner over here and showcase for you the big bonus closet space that you also have in this one. What's kind of cool about this is it has double the closet and dresser space that a north-south RV bedroom would normally have, due to the fact that these hanging wardrobe towers, you know, they themselves are, as the name implies, hanging spaces, as we'll see in a second, but they also can be dresser spaces. Not to mention, they've got dual dresser drawers on those stands on either side of this 70 by 80 inch RV king bed here, but they also have more dresser space down below. So down below here, they're giving us kind of a 2-stage. You've got a shallow top kind of bucket, foot locker, whatever you want to call it. You've got double full extension drawers down here below the bed, but then you have 2 more of those over here. That's where I was saying this corner closet dresser arrangement basically doubles the personal clothing storage you have in this RV, giving you the same effect as a closet wardrobe slide without the extra slide mechanism and or seals, and it reduces cost and weight greatly as a result. They also, you can see how these, just like in the living room, hold themselves up so you don't got to do the head juggle. This can be, like, that's a removable shelf. So if you, like, it doesn't require screws or anything. You just pick it up, lift it out of there. And these used to just be little pockets. But people said, we don't like that. We want drawers. And Cougar said, cool, thanks for letting us know. And then they did it. That's kind of what I like about what Cougar's been doing the last few years. They've sort of just been like, hey, tell us what you want. Okay, we'll do that. Like, and they've become, I think, the best they've ever been as a result. Now, I have also closed the slide out for road mode. And as you can see by the location of the door on the left, the bed and bath accessibility, very, very easy. But when these dual opposing AccuSlides, super slides close, one of the things I was afraid of comes to pass. It does pinch the camper off. Now, here's the thing. If you can open the other slide, if you can open the stable steps on the outside, they stick out further than this slide does right here. And one of the other handy things on an AccuSlide system is that it can be deployed only partially and left like that for a short time without screwing it up. Now, if it's raining, don't do that because the slide seals are not fully engaged. Don't sit in the sofa. Don't sit in the dinette while it's fully extended. You can leave the fridge packed up, but I'm looking at the fridge, and the fridge door, especially if I close this back up, close it back up the way it's supposed to be. The fridge doors, the way it swings is going to be blocked by that kitchen island right there. I'm wondering if that island shouldn't be offset just a couple more inches. I don't know what the Cougar's plans are there. I want to just share what's here, and if that's a major concern for you, contact our team and ask them what did they end up deciding doing, and our team can actually close the slides on a camper and walk out with their phone, get you a quick little 30-second video, and verify the hard unit in stock, which I think you should. That's a good test. If a dealership agent won't take 30 seconds to record something for you, don't buy from them. That's stupid. Now, generally speaking, I don't like the idea of pairing this up with a half-ton pickup. If you have a very capable half-ton and you're going like 30 minutes or less to your seasonal site where you drop this thing off and then don't generally tow it, okay, maybe then. For anything more than that, I just don't think you're going to like the experience. Even if the stickers on your truck say it's mathematically capable, like if you were capable of deadlifting 400 pounds and somebody asked you to constantly carry 390 pounds around, you wouldn't like that. You would be capable, but you wouldn't like that. That's kind of what I mean. If you're going to go more towing and going, probably step up to 3/4 ton. Let's talk weather package. This is 0 to 110 degree rated. They run their radiant barrier layering through their roof, down their nose cap, across their underbelly. Obviously, you see that we have the dual layer capability. The option is applied to the camper that we're looking at here today. And Keystone actually does have their own temp chamber. So these are truly rated, tested, proven 0 to 100 degrees. There's actually, in terms, unless a factory like Keystone has their own temp chambers, did you know there's almost no public temp chambers available? Those got shut down during COVID. So Truma is the only one, and they only let you use their chamber if you use Truma products. So most RV companies that make weather claims actually aren't tested. So that's a funny thing in the industry. The little doggy leash lash there really sticks out on the nose. I'm wondering the location of that, if that's going to fight weight distribution saddle brackets. If it does, it's only a couple screws to remove that. I almost feel like it needs to get slid back a little bit, or if it was mounted on this forward-facing area right there, I think that would be better. I'm going to give Keystone a call and suggest that right after this. Cougar with the Giggy Box. That's what this guy is right here. It's a battery disconnect on super steroids. The RV also has a second disconnect specific to the solar package, because if you are cold storing the RV, it is still recommended to pull the battery and put it on a battery tender over winter. But in the meantime, the solar panel might try to pick up some sunshine and live activate the charge controller. It does that enough, it'll burn the charge controller out, always right after the warranty, almost never in warranty. So Keystone includes a solar disconnect so that you don't have that problem. Their goal is not to have you want to trade one in because yours broke. The goal with the Cougar here is to keep you camping. And I think that's a pretty cool kind of concept. I really like their execution of the front drop frame storage compartment. You see how this little shelf here has that little lip? Perfect for baseball bats to defend yourself from gas station murder hobo, fishing poles, any of them things. Got our TV hookups over on the left. They actually do give you the little port on the bottom left to feed that out there if you want to. You also see the magnet holdbacks on those slam latch baggage doors. Not that you have to jackhammer slam those, by the way. It's better if you actually slowly compress them. Frankly, it's easier on your seals. Dual power awnings. They didn't try to get cute and shove one awning over a super slide. These are currently AccuSlide cable slides. I don't have confirmation of this. I have a theory. In a year or so, they'll be changing these over to rack and pinions because they've done that on all of their fifth wheels now. So it would stand to reason they might do the same on the trailers. Don't know, but might. I like these updated steps. It just feels, especially like you see somebody had dirty feet coming in now, just feels like it's easier to keep those clean. And as long as we're slinging down the sidewall of this, I want to talk about the new upgraded high gloss fiberglass, not the traditional Phylon here. And when you get the big Cougar fifth wheels with the paint package, that's going to look great. It looks like a Forest River Cardinal took a dump on a Keystone Cougar right there. But hey, moving on from there, we have maximized campside window coverage. And notice how all those windows open for some really, really good airflow. Working our way around. By default, this has the default stabilization system. By default, these will have push button power stabilizers, but if you have really eagle eyes, you might spot some brackets on that chassis. These do have optional auto leveling available, so that might be something that you want to look into depending on your needs, wants, and or preferences. Working our way around here, let me get around the spare tire. The tires on the ground are Goodyears. This is a import spare. Hopefully you never need to worry about it, but I just like to point out the differences sometimes. Sometimes when an RV is being delivered, for whatever reason, you might end up with a flat tire. So if you ever see a Cougar at a dealership with one import tire, it means it probably had a flat in transit, so you might want to check the wheel wells for potential damage. A little pro tip for you. That is an extremely rare occurrence, but it's worth learning about, you know what I mean? They do have a sewer hose handy helper tube mounted on the belly. Speaking of belly stuff, this is a singular sewer outlet. You also have enclosed forced air heated protected underbelly with thermostatic holding tank heat pads, and also the holding tanks have their own individual hot air ducts blowing directly on them. Not just one air dump in the belly, but also on the holding tanks. Now, if you want to really cold camp in this sucker, it can do some pretty good cold camping. I can't make you promises below 0 because Keystone hasn't, and any dealer that can is lying out of their teeth, assuming they have teeth anyway. The thing, though, is you're going to be eating your propane. You will just chug a lug propane hard when you do that. But the RV does have a pretty capable package and larger furnace to accommodate. So check the links in the description if you're curious or serious as to the running price tag of one of these. You'll see wherever. You'll see basically if you check that out, our website will show you the one that's closest to your front door. We don't necessarily have stores everywhere in the nation, but we are slowly growing. We always try to build a service department before sales, and that means that our growth is a little slower as compared to some groups. We also don't do hidden dealer fees. So if you see our price tag on our website, that's actually the price tag. Just add state taxes, tags, that kind of stuff. We don't have the get ready, go camping, screw you out every dollar we can fee. We just don't do that stuff. So when you're ready, we're ready. And if I think about it, I'll try to dig up some links. Like Bullet has a good version of this. Vibe. I feel like J-Feather, Eagle, maybe. I don't know. There's some other builders that have very similar layouts. I try to look a couple of those up for you. And if you feel like checking one of those out, there you go. And if not, we'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.